Hello and welcome to another update video about MultiversX EGLD. In the last video, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I don't cover this one too often, but in the last video we defined a target area, a key target area, which is still highlighted on the chart in white. And that you can see that here it's between $19.70 roughly and the $24.70 level we have now come into the middle of it. This is just a target area, so it's not. I'm not telling you it will turn around here, because this chart actually broke to the downside of a descending wedge, which just shows a lot of weakness. So I'm not sure if there are any underlying issues with this coin, but I'm getting quite concerned for a few reasons. First of all, the move to the upside was a three-wave move. It was just corrective. There are a few charts which have a longer chart history, but also they don't show an impulse to the upside. Just a corrective movement, just a three-wave move in different forms. Yeah, for example, there is the USD chart, Binance USD. Maybe I will change over to that at some point. It's the same wave count basically. Yeah, it's the same wave count basically here on this chart. Also, we had basically just a corrective move. I highlighted that here as a wave one, but it's not an impulse. So you can also highlight that easily as an ABC structure. I mean, can you see that? It looks just like a three-wave move. And why not put the wave one here? Very simple, or very simply because this is not an impulse. It didn't reach the 1.618 extension in the third wave. It needs to do that to get a reliable third wave. So again, based on Fib levels, I cannot count that as a clear five-wave move. Now, let me go back to my main chart actually. Now that doesn't mean this chart is necessarily bearish, but it just means that on the shorter time frame, didn't want to do that. But that means that on the shorter time frame, first of all, there is no setup that suggests a trend reversal yet. And I'm always getting a bit concerned if a chart breaks to the downside of a descending wedge. I mean, a descending wedge is typically a pattern where you would ideally want to see a break to the upside. It didn't happen, okay? So already in the last video, I highlighted to you that this is an ideal target range here, but that ideally we get there slowly, and ideally we're not going to break to the downside of the wedge, but just sort of move along this trend line. But actually it broke to the downside. Maybe there will now be a retest, and I don't know how far it's going to go, I mean, this support area is based on Fibonacci levels. The problem is also that we have now 5 waves to the downside. So, of course, there is a bullish scenario. I mean, I've got here the yellow wave count, which is basically, a wave 1, even though extremely questionable, an A wave down, overshooting B wave, and the C wave down. But there's no sign that it's stopping at this stage, okay? I'm just highlighting that. So, I mean, it doesn't mean this chart is bearish, but it just means that due to the questionable 5-wave move up initially and the weakness in the bear market. I mean, every coin is weak in a bear market, right? But there are some coins that show some strength. This one here is just dropping and dropping and dropping. So maybe it has some catching up work to do. But I cannot confirm a low in place. I think it's going to drop a little lower. The next support is around $19.70. And then we've got down here the $13.38 level as next support. The fact that it's a questionable 5-wave move to the upside and the move down is also in 5 waves, it leaves the door open for the white wave count, which basically shows here an ABC structure to the upside and then 5 waves down in a wave 1. So I have to assume that maybe in the next rally, it will only be a wave 2 and then it would make new all-time lows. Not saying that's what it will do, but I just need to highlight the risk, obviously. As an analyst, I need to give you a balanced view. I also need to give you the key levels that would unlock much more bullish potential. And I mean, based on this chart, it would need to break above the 78.6 retracement. So after 5 waves down, at some point, but the setup isn't there yet, at some point it should rally in a wave 2. Now the challenge will be to determine where this wave 2 will land, okay? But there is no setup anyway to suggest that it has started yet other than a few green candles. If that wave 2 is running at some point, first of all, I needed to break above this wave 4 high at $38. I think if we get above that level, it's getting interesting. But actually at the moment the downtrend seems to be accelerating. Yeah. But yeah, I don't, it's not the right time to talk about upside here. It hasn't even shown us any indication that a low is in. I mean, it might currently just retest this trend line from below. Looking at the indicators, yes, oversold on the daily time frame. Typically, and that's true for most asset classes, when we see that on the daily time frame, it's typically an indication that there will be some kind of a corrective rally, right? But if we go to the weekly chart, yeah, you can see the negative momentum is still unfolding there. Yes, okay, it shows actually a light red color now. So, but it's not enough to say the trend is shifting back to the upside. We'll have to observe that. But anyway, there is no 5-wave move to the upside yet. Daily time frame shows a little bit of green here on the MACD. But again, it's only a few green candles now, 3 green candles. And that's just really a perspective on the lowest time frame. And here so far, only 3 waves up. I mean, if this turns into a micro 5-wave move up, it might generate some more upside, then we can track the 3-wave pullback. But I guess for most people who follow this one, it will be interesting to understand, okay, are we getting back into a long-term uptrend? And I cannot, even though the wave count is full, okay, the wave count is full, 5 waves down, we've hit the target area in the middle. It's too early to say the trend is changing. Yeah? So obviously this is now the area that we defined. This is the area where we'll be watching for a potential turnaround. But typically in a descending wedge pattern, the downside is starting to slow down. But actually, you see it just dropped through, so it's just accelerating. Yeah, I keep my eyes on a potential 5-wave move to the upside that's unfolding here, but it's too early to confirm. So just an update here that we reached the target area. This is now the area where we can be watching for reversals, but if there is a reversal, we have to assume it might just be a wave 2. I would rather take the more bearish view to prepare for potential rejection in this region here between $74 and $270, but there is no guarantee it will max it all out. So, but that we'll take that, when we get there or along the way, we will be able to specify targets. We will also probably be able to tell if it's going to be an impulse in a 3rd wave rally or just a wave 2 correction. That's my update about EGLD. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.